to my whole bio. Basically, I've been speaking for Constant Contact since January. I'm an authorized local expert, and I wanted to give you an abbreviated talk on something I speak called social media made simple. But what I realized was social media is simple, but it's also challenging something. Everybody agree?
Yes.
A little challenging?
Yes.
Well, let me see if I can simplify it for you. So let me ask you a few questions. So who's on LinkedIn here? LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest. Okay. So we got all these different types, and one of the main ingredients that I find is merging them all together. I haven't exactly figured it all out yet, I have to admit to you, but I've realized that there's a few things that I know work well, and that's what I want to share with you. So there's three things. It's called connections, engaging content, and conversations. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of a story to explain how this all works. So connections. So my book is called Get Connected in the 21st Century. And why I'm so passionate about that book is because it all started by going out and shaking people's hands. That's how I met my mentors. That's how I met professionals. I met Lawrence, Deanne, and everybody here. And what I realized is the more you do that, the better you become. Everybody agree? Right? But one of the most things that you take to the next step is, yes, you got this beautiful card. I got all these cards. I got all these cards today. Now, I'll take a page out of Scott's book. So what are you going to do with these cards? Are you going to follow up? What are you going to do with them? And I realized that you have to do something. And because I've written a number of articles and books, I email people all the time my book, free of charge. Because I want them to understand it's about the content, not about selling the book. Like, I'm happy for people who put books together, and I'm happy for Colleen, and she's going to do great. My book's coming out in April next year, so I'm excited about that. What I realized is the process. So you may start by getting all these cards. What's the next thing? Is follow-up. Follow-up is do something with that. So email them, say hello. For here, so you meet all these people. Go pick 5 or 6 people and say, it was great to meet you today. I hope you enjoyed the event. I know you didn't get a chance to meet so much. Maybe you spoke with them at the round table this morning, but maybe give some more about your business. Say, well, here's some great tips about, take Dr. George and say, here's great tips on health. We got a number of great experts in the crowd here. There's no doubt. I mean, the last month we did the health expo. We had 8 speakers that day. Was it 8 or 9 speakers that day? Man, I was making notes. I was like, okay, I'm working back on that. That's the process of following up. So I challenge everybody, pick a couple of cards and send them a follow-up. Say, great to meet you, do this. It's going to take a couple of minutes, but again, you build that relationship offline to online. Then you want to connect on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Go ahead. Even Lawrence Beasley's on Mr. Twitter now. Lawrence Beasley's on Twitter, right? So do that. Next is engaging content. And I want to actually congratulate Carol here from Zari. She started her first email campaign a few months ago. And we had met about 3-4 months ago here. She started 2 campaigns already. And the first campaign she did, she gave away the book, if I'm not mistaken. The first campaign you did, I was like, excellent, I was getting another back. I'm going, I'll wait till the second one. But, I did, and again, it was the value that she's putting out there. And she had no hesitation. The book's out there, download it, read it. And I got about halfway through the book, I go, oh man, this is good information. So this is the engaging content part. And this is where I'm really big, is engage with the people you speak to. Because we're all going in some different directions, and that's okay. We want to actually try and make focus. But with a campaign like that, you really engage your clients on a monthly basis. And when I was with my newsletter, is that I did that. Because I see my clients all the time. Like, I hadn't seen Deanne in how many months? And now I see her twice in a week. Right? But, well, we see each other on Facebook. I see your messages. That's important. That's when the engaging content happens. So the reason I was talking about Lawrence and Twitter is that my Twitter following was brutal at the beginning of the year. But I'm up to 625 followers in 11 months. Why? Because I started the conversation. I started the engaging content. I have friends in the United States that I connect on Twitter only. It's kind of cool. I don't have to email them. Just send me messages on Twitter. The last thing is the conversation. And this is the most important thing, is conversation. we are having a 30-second discussion where you're telling someone something about your business. You're learning about their business. Now, 35 seconds may not seem much, but actually it's more than enough time. If you really understand what you do and ask the right questions, you can do it. So I'll leave you with this great tip. I was listening to a gentleman named Stuart Knight. He had an event a few weeks ago in Toronto, the Winter Garden Theatre. And Stuart wrote a book called You Just Should Have Asked. That's the name of the book. And I'm sitting there in the back row. My arms are crossed, my legs are crossed. I'm thinking, why is this guy going to teach me about networking? Like, I know it already. By the time I was done, I was like kneeling over, making notes, hit the guy on the side going, did you hear that? Did you hear that? He goes, what's wrong with you? He said one thing that changed my whole scope of networking. He said, it's not about the first question, it's about the second question you ask. And I was like, what is he talking about? So Lawrence, come up here for a second. So he says, he gave this example. If you go into the office and you ask the gentleman, how was your weekend, Lawrence? Excellent. What did you do this weekend? Have fun. Okay, so that's the first question. But he said, if you ask a second question like this, hey Lawrence, how are you doing? How was your weekend? What did you do this weekend?
Played baseball.
Yeah? Did you do in the game?
Of course.
Excellent, congratulations. All right, thank you. Now, why that's so important is this, is you didn't dig too deep into his personal life, but you dig enough to learn more about him. And what Stuart's point that he made that I really found interesting is that we can all do that. We can always ask a second better question. And who knows, I could have gone 3 or 4 different directions with that. So my challenge to everyone here is you may meet people online or offline. You can have conversations either way. But asking a good second question, you'll never know where that leads. And I've realized that I was missing on that second question. Now, ever since then, I'm putting together a better second question than I ever have in my life. And I've got some interesting answers the past few weeks because of the second question. Not the guy in the back, maybe he's enjoying it too. So part of networking is that I'm always evolving, and I've been writing some new articles, and I've been getting questions asked about social capital and social media. And I want to try and keep it simple so we can take this information and apply it. So again, it's about connection, engaging common conversations. If you do those over and over again, everyone here can grow their resources, grow their contacts, and grow their business. Because what I realized, I'm not hung up on quantity, how many connections I have. It's the quality connections. And on LinkedIn, I just passed 1,000 connections on LinkedIn, but I know 80% of the people there. So when I email someone, I know what they do, and we've met sometime. And I'm very proud of that. Now, it's different on Twitter and Facebook and all that, but at least that entity I understand. So when you make these connections, when you send a request to LinkedIn, say, hi, Ronnie, I met you out there on the Frisbee Networking Group. Pleasure to meet you. Hopefully we get a chance to connect again. At least I made it a personal thing. That's the thing on LinkedIn I always tell people, send a personal message. Don't send the message that they tell you. Okay, so that's just one little tip, but it makes it different, making it more personal. So with that, that's the end of my presentation. And again, thank you for listening, and we'll look forward to, again, if you have any questions, I can answer them later on this morning. Thank you.